They erased my name from the $50 million deal. Then the client's lawyer spoke. I never thought I'd be the kind of person writing one of these long posts, but after what happened over the last year, I need to get it out somewhere. It feels like I've been holding my breath for months. Every time I try to tell friends or family, the words feel too heavy, or they just say things like, "That's business," or "You'll bounce back," and I end up shutting down. But I need to put it somewhere so I can stop replaying it in my head every night before I try to sleep. I work in corporate sales. It's the kind of world where egos are currency, and titles seem to matter more than actual work. I never loved that part of it, but I did love building connections with clients. I liked walking into a room and actually being able to listen to what people needed instead of just shoving a pitch down their throat. That approach was how I landed the biggest client my company had ever signed. This deal wasn't some accident. I spent 2 years nurturing the relationship. Countless flights, endless calls, problem-solving late at night when the client had issues. I missed birthdays, I missed vacations, I even worked through being sick because I didn't want them to feel ignored. It paid off because eventually they came to me and said they wanted to move forward with a full contract. The numbers came out to just under $50 million. For context, the company I work at had never landed anything bigger than a $5 million deal. This was a life-changing number for the business, and honestly for my career too. When I told my boss, he almost didn't believe me. He asked to see emails, meeting notes, the whole paper trail. I gave him everything. He got excited and started looping in the executive team. Suddenly people who had barely said good morning to me in the past were blowing up my phone at all hours, asking for updates. I tried to tell myself it was just the nature of a big win, but something about how quickly they latched onto it made me uneasy. The real gut punch came when the official paperwork was finalized. I'd been the point of contact the entire time. Every meeting, every negotiation, every single moment that built trust had gone through me. But when the press release went out, my name was nowhere. The announcement credited my boss and 2 executives who hadn't even met the client until after the deal was basically signed. I remember staring at the email and reading it over and over again, thinking maybe I was missing a line. But no, my name was erased like I'd never been there. At first I tried to brush it off. I told myself, maybe they'd recognize me internally even if the press didn't. But then the company-wide meeting happened. The CEO got up and congratulated my boss by name. He congratulated the executives. He thanked the team for their hard work. People clapped and cheered, and I sat there in the back row wondering if I'd imagined the last 2 years of my life. Nobody even glanced in my direction. I went home that night and broke down. I felt stupid for caring so much. I felt even more stupid for thinking loyalty meant anything. My partner tried to comfort me, but I couldn't shake the bitterness. It wasn't about glory. It was about fairness. It was about the truth. Then a strange thing happened. A few weeks later, the client's lawyer reached out to me directly. He'd been copied on so many of the negotiations that he knew exactly who had done the legwork. He asked me if I was doing all right because he noticed I hadn't been included in recent calls. I admitted to him, maybe more than I should have, that I had been sidelined. He didn't say much then, but he took note. Fast forward to the big signing ceremony. The executives had arranged a huge event at a hotel ballroom. There were banners, photographers, the whole thing. I wasn't even invited. That's how deep the erasure went. I planned to just sit at my desk and quietly watch from afar, but about an hour before the event I got a call from the client's lawyer. He told me the client had requested I be there, and that a car was already on the way to pick me up. When I walked into that ballroom, you could have heard a pin drop. My boss looked like he'd seen a ghost. The executives were visibly uncomfortable. But the client walked right over, shook my hand, and introduced me to their entire board as the person who had made the deal possible. Their lawyer then stepped up to the microphone before the signing and said very clearly that none of this would have happened without me. He said he wanted that fact to be on record before anything was finalized. The room went silent. Cameras flashing, executives fuming, and me trying not to cry in front of everyone. I wish I could say that moment fixed everything, but it didn't. After the ceremony, the Cold War in my office got worse. My boss stopped speaking to me unless absolutely necessary. The executives avoided me entirely. HR called me in and gave me some vague warning about team cohesion. It was obvious they saw me as a liability now, not an asset. A few months later, they moved me to a smaller account under the excuse of spreading the workload. It was punishment, plain and simple. I considered quitting, but fear kept me stuck. I'd given years of my life to this company. Walking away felt like giving them what they wanted. But staying has been slowly breaking me down too. I go into work every day, knowing that my biggest accomplishment has been stolen from me. The only thing that keeps me sane is remembering the client's lawyer standing up for me. He didn't have to do that. He gained nothing from it. But he told the truth in a room full of people who were desperate to bury it. That small act of integrity is the only reason I still believe in fairness at all. Now I'm at a crossroads. Part of me wants to lawyer up and fight for credit, maybe even walk away with damages. Another part of me just wants to quietly move on and find somewhere that actually values honesty. The hardest part is letting go of the anger. I don't want this bitterness to eat me alive, but some nights it feels like it already has. So that's where I'm at. My name was erased, my work was stolen, and I was made invisible in the moment I should have been most proud. But at least one person saw the truth. At least one person spoke it out loud. I hold on to that even as I figure out what comes next.